Hi, today's lesson, Monday, November the 3rd, was a little bit different from what we've been doing before. We've been learning different strategies to solve division. Today's lesson involved compatible numbers when it comes to quotient ranges. Compatible numbers regarding quotient ranges. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our first one. We've got 203 divided by 3. Now, the object of this lesson isn't to determine exactly what the answer is, but to determine our range in where the answer can fall. So what we do is the first thing we do is we square off the first two numbers. Now, we are going to think of our threes tables and find a multiple of 3 that gets us just less than 20 and a multiple of 3 that is just above 20. So we can go ahead and write out our full multiplication tables just so you have an idea, but you only have to write out the ones you need really. So obviously 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. And 3 times 9 is 27. All right, so now we have our threes multiplication tables. We're going to look at our multiplication tables and look at the multiples and see which multiple is just below 20 or just less than 20 and the multiple that is just above 20. So when I look at my multiplication facts, the multiple that falls just less than 20 is going to be 18. And the multiple that falls just greater than 20 is 21. Okay, so those are our compatible numbers. Those are our compatible numbers there. Now, when we look at this, in order to determine which compatible number the answer will be closer to, we look at the steps between. So it is 2 steps from 18 to 20, 19, 20, or 1 step, 21 to 21. So this is where our answer should be closer to. So when we have our range, we also know that it will appear closer. So now let's finish out the rest of this. So the factors that we used were what we times 3 to get 18 and 21, which was 6 and 7. Then we talked about what did we multiply times 6 and 7 or times 3 to get a 3-digit number. So basically, when it comes to this, it's the number of place values outside the box represents the number of zeros that we're multiplying by. So it would be 1 0 and it's a 10. So this one is, we say here 10 or 100. Are we multiplying by 10 or 100? And then the last portion of it is our equation, quotient range equations. So this one will be 180 divided by 3, because it has to be a 3-digit number, just like this one, equals 60, because there's 1 0 here, 1 0 here. And 210 divided by 3 equals 70. And again, we said that our answer, our quotient, would be closer to 70 than it would be 60. So that's an example of what we did today. And the students did actually work on that exact same problem. Now we have another couple of problems here. We're still going to use these multiplication facts because I'm still going to keep it with the 3 so I don't have to write them out again. But let's look at our next problem. I've got 2,578 divided by 3. So again, the first two numbers. So we are looking for the multiple that comes just below or just less than 25 and the multiple that comes just greater than 25. And if I look over here, I've got 24 would be my low end compatible number and 27 would be my high end compatible number. Okay, so now my factors What did I multiply times 3 to make 24? Well, that is 8. And what did I multiply times 3 to get 27? That is 9. For this particular problem, we have 2 place values outside the box, so that is 2 zeros, which makes it a 100. And then our equations. Now, why this works, and let's look. 24 times 100 equals 2,400, which is a 4-digit number. This is a 4-digit number divided by 3 equals, and if we do this times this, that gives us our answer, 800. 27 times 100 is 2,700 or 2,700 divided by 3 equals 9 times 100 equals 900. Now, to determine which compatible number our answer will be closer to, we count the steps. So between 24 and 25, that's 1. 25 and 27, that's 2. So our compatible number equation, our answer will be closer to 800 than it will be to 900. All right, let's do another one that doesn't use our threes tables. Let's use a different one. Let's do 2,971 divided by 9. Okay, we are boxing off our first 2 digits. So that is 29. Now I'm thinking about my nines tables. So I know 9 times 5 is 45, so that's too high. So let's go 9 times 2. That equals 18. 9 times 3, well, that equals 27. And 9 times 4, that equals 36. So here is my low, and here is my high compatible numbers. So 27 on top, 36 on bottom. And I definitely can tell that there's only 2 steps between 27 and 29. There are 7 steps between 29 and 36. So my answer should be closer to the quotient of this problem. That is 3 and 4 are my factors that I'm using. That is what I multiplied times 3 to make those compatible numbers. There are 2 place values outside, so that is 2 zeros when it comes to 10 or 100. And then my equations are 2,700 or 2,700, because 27 times 100 is 2,700, divided by 9 equals 300, because it's 3 times 100. That's my low end. My high end is 3,600 or 3,600. Divided by 9 equals 400. And we already said that 27 was our closer compatible number. So our quotient should be closer. This is the range between 300 and 400 is our quotient answer. But the number should be closer to 300 than it is to 400. All right, let me go ahead and just list out the steps. So the first thing is to identify the numbers that you're working with. So identify or square the first 2 numbers. First 2 numbers. Number 2, write out the multiplication facts for your divisor. Multiplication. Sorry, I gotta help myself spell it. Facts for divisor. 3, determine your low compatible number and high compatible number based on the multiple. Determine low and high compatible numbers based on the multiples. Number 4, write your factors. Write factors. Those are the numbers you multiply times your divisor. Write your factors. Number 5, count place values outside the box to determine if you are multiplying by 10 or 100. Number 6, write your quotient range equations. Write your quotient range equations. Period. All right. So I'm going to give you one where you can pause the video and practice. Let me go ahead and give you that problem. 381 divided by 5. Remember, you're looking for the compatible numbers to find your quotient range. Go ahead and pause the video. When you're done, you can watch the answer. All right, so the first step, if I'm following my steps, is to square off my first 2 digits, which for me would be 38 in this particular problem. Now I need to write my multiplication facts for my 5s tables because that's my divisor. I know 5 times 7 is 35. I know 5 times 8 is 40. So that is my low and high compatible numbers, 35 and 40. 3 steps from 35 to 38, 2 steps from 38 to 40. So my answer, my actual quotient will be closer to the quotient of this problem. Now I need my factors. I multiplied times 7 and 8. 1 place value outside of the box, so 1, 0, so it's times 10. And now my equations. 35 times 10 is 350, divided by 5 equals 7 times 10, which is 70. 40 times 10, which is 400, divided by 5 equals 80. 8 times 10, 8 times 10. And we already said that our actual quotient would be closer to this quotient than 7. So closer to 80 than 70. I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching, everybody.